do 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 do. Do 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 boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Doop 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 doop. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to finish off our league for 4-color Dargans. We are playing Lorehold Velomachus Lorehold using Indomitable Creativity to turn a dwarf token or a treasure token into a nigh unstoppable dragon and killing our opponent from there. Velomachus allows you, whenever it attacks, to look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery from among them, time warp, savor the moment, hit one of those, take another turn, attack again, find another one, take another turn, attack again. You know the picture. We are a red-based land deck, as opposed to when Mystic Sanctuary was a modern legal Magic card, and we were playing all islands in our blue decks. This one is a all-red deck. That way we can turn Dwarven Mine, yet another Throne of Eldraine card that you can fetch. Why did Wizards put fetch archetypes on these? I will never know. Get a 1/1. If you control 3 other mountains, turn it into a flying dragon with Indomitable Creativity. That's ideally what we're trying to do. Beyond that, we're kind of a 4-color tempo, mid-range deck, control deck, however you want to call it, using things like Lightning Bolt and Prismatic Ending to stay alive. And then we bring in the dynamic duo of Wrenn and 6 and Teferi Time Raveler to kind of go nuts on whatever our opponent is doing. And then using things like Remand, Prismari Command as kind of value things to keep us alive in the meantime. Obviously, Prismari Command also is kind of sort of a combo piece in addition to our 4 Dwarven Mines. You know, allows us to have a more difficult to kill threat. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you have Teferi in play, but you know there are some times where you have to try to go for Indomitable Creativity with Teferi in play. 1 copy of Jace the Mind Sculptor to allow you to put your Velomachuses and your Time Warps back in your deck potentially. As this deck can sometimes have a problem having enough ability to close out the game if your Velomachuses get answered. Sideboards, Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. This is primarily for mill, but also is not a terrible thing to hit off of Indomitable Creativity. A couple copies of Wear Tear, a couple copies of Stony Silence because Urza's Saga decks are a thing. 2 copies of Celestial Purge because there's a bunch of black and red stuff you need to kill in the format, whether it be prowess creatures, Ozymandias, etc. 2 copies of Timely Reinforcements, pretty good against any type of creature shenanigans. 2 copies of Aethergust, once again, red decks are a thing. 3 copies of Veil of Summer for any type of blue mirrors or any type of discard spells, as our deck is. One notable weakness I will say about this archetype is its selection is terrible. We don't have a lot of actual factual card advantage. One of the advantages the old 4-color control decks used to have when they had access to Uro was the fact that they had, obviously, Uro and Omnath. You were stapling draw spells to some of your threats. Allows you to cycle through your deck a little bit more. This version, you're just kind of relying on a few cantrips. I mean, obviously, you have looting effects from Prismari Command, you have Teferi, you have Remand and Wrenn and 6 as kind of card advantage. But your actual ability to find your particular combo pieces can be limited, and this time, as you're not running cantrips. The historic version, in some ways, might have been superior before it got banned, because it had access to Brainstorm in addition to, whatchamacallit that we play in, is it Blitz all the time? Expressive Iteration. So you had a lot of stuff going on where you were a little bit more consistent at finding the combo. The thing it lacked was a second Time Warp spell that Velomachus could cast, but Mizik's Mastery took care of that problem. Once you got your first Time Warp in the graveyard, then you kind of went nuts from there. And then finally, Nahiri Harbinger. This kind of serves as a twofold. Basically gives you a 5th copy of Indomitable Creativity, as well as a way to unlock, Blood Moon, which could be an annoying card. That's kind of why I figure that Snow-Covered Plains isn't in the deck as the only non-basic mountain, is just so you have a white source to fetch up for either a Wear Tear or Nahiri or Celestial Purge. So that's what's going on with the deck. We're currently 1-2 in the league. It's been a weird set of leagues so far. Game 1 or match 1 we played against Ad Nauseam. They whatchamacallited for a Pact of Negation, spoils the vault for Pact of Negation. Went to 4, we untapped, ran in 6th and bolted them. Just beat them in game 2 because I think we have a decent sideboard configuration against any type of artifact-based deck, which Ad Nauseam ironically is. We lost to Temur Cascade because any type of blue pressure plus disruption deck just kind of feels rough. Phew. Well, just don't think this hand does enough. So, too many 3-drops. This hand's a little bit better. Put back the Time Warp. And then presume we fetch up the Ketria Triumph here. Basic Forest into Sprawl. Is it white or black? White or red? White. So we might be up against Heliod, which probably not the best of matchups, but probably not the worst of matchups. Red. So, I know Mana Symbol said he had like an undefeated record against Heliod. I don't know how our... Oh, we're up against Enchantress. Okay. And a bloom plus that's quite annoying, actually. Alright, we're just going to create a treasure. Or no, I guess we're going to draw 2, discard 2. And deal with this stupid... This. Draw 2, discard 2. We're just going to main phase this. It does put the shields down a little bit, but without their cantripping machine in play, they have to play another one, which looks like they have another one anyway, so Destiny Spinner, sure. Yeah, what's up, Space Marine? I saw you just commented a bit ago. I'm like, oh, well, maybe he'll join the stream this time. Do I even have a white source to get here? Guess I don't, so I just get a Steam Vents. Hold up Remand, I guess. Hope for some reason they ignore. I think the easiest thing to say about that is a burn player had about a 65% win rate with the deck. That would be your greatest indication that it was time to Oh, it can't be countered. Cool. Hopefully they leave Ren alone for some reason. Nope, they didn't leave Ren alone. It's unfortunate. Hope to get a little lucky here, I guess. Good sir, you are talking to a control mage who was not happy that his pet deck was gotten rid of, basically. I don't really care about solitary confinement right now. Don't think I'm playing this ideally either. I guess we could find Bolt. Is that the card we're looking for here? Paid off. To be fair, the Cascade nonsense, for the most part, is a control variant of some type. So, you know, there is that. The control decks in this deck are both control combo decks, which it's just a matter of how they win the game compared to... What are they playing here? Mana Bloom. They're actually pretty good against the Darcy decks. Solitary Confinement is a very difficult card for black-red decks to answer. Well, hello there. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Hey, we have just enough mana. Time to spin the Dargon. Alright, and our opponent concedes. I do think that I don't think that they should have banned all three cards at the same time. I think they just wanted to wax the entire format. Because don't forget, Simian Spirit Guide also took the whack at that time, too. So... Wear Terrors seem okay. Nahiri seems alright. Is this an Emrakul matchup? Could be an Aether Gust matchup, because it actually hits green spells, although we forget that half the time. It's really weird, right? Because, like... No, actually it didn't, Space Marine. Fair Magic was still Fair decks were still a thing until MH2 was printed. Because don't forget that Esper was actually the best deck in the format for like a week or two. It was one MH2 hit, and you got all these other ridiculous, powerful things going on that it really kind of went nuts. Is this hand good enough? I guess. That was unexpected, but not unplayable around, I guess. I think of the two Mystic needed. I think Field of the Dead and whatchamacallit both needed to go. Mystic Sanctuary. I think both of those honestly did need to go. Uro is the one that's debatable. Almost forgot to activate. No, Sanctuary needed to go. Sanctuary was way too obnoxious for most things in the format. Cryptic Lock was annoying. Seems like they are stuck on mana, so I'm not going to give them the opportunity to get unstuck on mana, if that makes sense. Regardless, you could argue it's a mistake that all three, plus Simian Spirit Guide, didn't all need to go at the same time. But they really wanted the format shooken up because it was obnoxious. The Cascade decks were ridiculous when Tibalt was legal, or you could Cascade into Tibalt. Simian Spirit Guide has always been a dangerous Magic card. Salty players gonna salt. My opponent's talking about all my luck, and my hand is all lands, a Wrenn and 6, and a Wear Tear. Space Marine, the deck was ridiculously good. It was the tier 0 deck for probably a good, at minimum, 8 to 10 weeks. Now, as the format sits right now, do I think they could reintroduce... Well, no, but before... And Cascade was only too good because of Tibalt. Like, Tibble obviously had to get changed for 4-color control to go back to being the dominant deck. Yeah, I think this hand's fine against Urion. Although it could be Death and Taxes. Time Warps. Maybe you should argue this was... Well, regardless of what we think should and should not have been banned, they banned what they banned. Did you see Jessica won the challenge? Question mark? I looked at that pile and went, how does that win a frickin' game of Magic? But, okay. Ooh, boy. What is our opponent playing? Like, we really need to draw a fetch land here. They have Veil of Summer main deck? Looks like just 4-color Walker nonsense. Solitude. Well, I mean, that's kind of a thing. So what is the best way to set this up? So if they play Teferi again, I guess we remand it for a 3rd time. If they don't, then we just get to Prismari Command, set up Indomitable Creativity. Or I guess we play our own Teferi here, actually, because they have Solitude in play, or Solitude, which has Flash. It's kind of annoying. Bounce the bird. Presume they go for Teferi here, right? Yep. With this blue red thing. Now we have remand, and I think we win next turn, so, or at least come close. No, I suppose we could have time warp there, but we still would have been in the same relative position, you know? So now we at least get one turn cycle of stuff, see what we get to do. Brennan 6 is interesting. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7 mana. So I could creativity. Doop, doop. Let's see what we hit off the Velomachus. And we unfortunately miss. So Prismari command. Target player. Deals 2. It's a treasure? Question mark. So doop doop. So I don't know that our opponent has a way of dealing with all of this in one go. Oh yeah, the monkey is getting annoying. Just look on... You have Twitter? Oh, never mind. You're banned on all things Twitter. This will force our opponent to act. Because they have Solitude in hand. Or they just have Path, sure. Well, sugar snap peas. Well, hello there. So, Dargan. Alright, well, Bolt does it too, so... Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Yellow hat. Well, I'll have to check in a minute. So we're up against Planeswalkers with Teferi. I think we bring in Emrakul. Bolt seems okay against specifically some of their nonsense. Like the birds and stuff. Space Marine, I'm gonna email you the a picture of it. At least I think I can. Chihuahua compose. I will in a bit. Sorry, bud. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I got a mulligan in this hand. Wow. Apparently, we're just supposed to have Emrakul in our opening hand. Sure. Or I guess we can mulligan. Or actually, Space Marine, take a screenshot of this quick, or snippet, or whatever. I'll give you like 10 seconds to get this list. Looks like a pile, quite frankly, but... Just the ability to fetch a tri-land if we want to bolt. Alright. Could pretend we have our man, but they're just going to jam either way, so kind of whatever. Eternal Witness picking up a land. Yeah, that was kind of my assumption as well. Like, I think it was Avaros playing it, but it was bad. Like, it was really bad. Do I play Teferi, or do I just jam and hope we hit Emrakul, or that they don't have the Elemental in their hand? I think we just jam. I don't have a white source anyway, so what am I doing? Well, that leaves us in a weird spot. Okay, so we're just dead. Looks like we got out comboed this game. I'm an idiot. Yep. I'm an idiot on that one. I punted that game away. If I'd let the treasure token up, we would have been able to bolt the combo in response. So. Need to find a fetch land, ideally. I mean, that kind of works, I guess. So we hold up Prismari command here. So that's Guardian. Reanimator has been toyed with by some people. I don't know that anyone's actually put a lot of work into it. I saw Spike did a little bit of work with it. Wow. I honestly think if Prismatic Ending was a instant speed, they would have to add X1 in white. Kind of annoying that we had to use our only white source that way. Sure. Bounce our token. One, two, three, four, five, six. Just trying to think what is our best play here. Mainly with Ren. We don't really have any other plays, obviously. We're just dead to the combo. So, definitely some mistakes in that league. Command, Lorehold Dragon. Looks like we weren't drawing anything anywhere decent in the near future. So So quick thoughts on this deck. Just way too much. Like, the deck, don't get me wrong, the deck's powerful, and obviously it's put up results. It does have the whole combo plus aggressive end to it, or combo plus control element to it. Feels like you really want the 24th land sometimes. Like, the games where you have Ren, obviously it's not as noticeable, but you really need fetch lands. I mean, this deck's already running, what, 10 fetches? So I'm not sure how many more you can get. Like, you need... Really, this deck's predicated upon fetch lands plus Ren. And that's really kind of the key to the deck. Like, you don't really see a lot of cards outside of, like, Ren. I almost wonder if you don't want, like, a third cycling land of some kind, just to see more action of what's going on. I don't know. Just, the combo decks without, like, a lot of filtering really always, like, I don't want to say feel underwhelming. Like, this deck feels very powerful, don't get me wrong. But just, like, that extra bit of inconsistency if you don't find your indomitable creativity or, your treasure token or whatever else. Like, we've died to some random things at some random times. I'll put it that way. But definitely some inexperience on my part piloting the deck, and some mistakes with some keeps. There was also the one game where we lost because we Prismari commanded, and then we had one Lorehold in our hand, and we drew the second one while also drawing the indomitable creativity that would have allowed us to get the Lorehold into play. So, like, sometimes variance got us a little bit in this league. Sometimes it was just some, like, for instance, in game number 2 where I didn't leave up the treasure token because I was trying to play around, the elemental that their deck sometimes runs, and didn't leave a treasure token to bolt. Instead, I indomitable creativity to away the bolt, or awayed the treasure token, which took down my ability to bolt to interact with the combo. And I think if we untap with Emrakul in that spot, that we win the game. So, there was definitely a game where a misplay cost me, and definitely a game where an unfortunate draw cost us too. So, it happens sometimes. But that said, I did say I was going to get into a little bit of burn, so I'm going to wrap up this portion of the thing and switch over to burn for a tiny little bit. Why am I capped at 144 pixels? I don't know. Probably because it keeps telling me that I've selected 19 vacationing in a toilet. Interesting. I don't know. Shouldn't be. Weird. I don't know why, Space Marine. Did you try adjusting the... You might be having some issues on your connection end, because I'm able to because I always stream my thing on a second account, and I'm able to up it to 720, so I don't know, maybe you're just having some issues with your connection. Try adjusting the settings and seeing if it'll let you bump it up to higher. Because I'm able to bump mine up to 720, no problem. Anybody else in chat having problems with pixel problems? Oh, Doyle, you still here? Are you having any problems with that? Anywho, switching over to some burn. Alright, so we're going to do a short video with some burn. Mainly focusing on seeing how Darcy changes the complexion of the burn deck. As far as what I've done in this version, just put Dragon Rage Chandler in the main deck, move Eidolon to the sideboard, cut a couple core Firewalkers, cut a couple of, what is the name of the card? Burn. Cut a couple copies of Roiling Vortex, called it a day. Nothing special really about the burn list other than it's just regular Boros with some Searing Blazes, some Boros Charms, etc. And we're going to run it through a couple of tournament practice room games to just get a feel, see if we can get a feel for Darcy. I'm not going to be doing a actual league with this tonight. This is just kind of a quick and dirty look to see if Dragon Rage Chandler fits in burn, which it most likely does in some form. Alright, we get Darcy right off the bat, so we're definitely going to keep this. Wow, that's weird, Space Marine, because I'm not having any problems with it on my end. I am getting a warning that's saying my resolution is set to 1920 times 1016. Well, I know it does, but I don't think anybody's really tried messing with it in regular burn shells. That's why I'm like giving it a small test. I think Gigi might have. Gigi for Goblin Guide. Alright, Fatal Push answers our first one. Now we tried it in Is It Blitz? Doesn't look like he tried it in Burn yet. Looks like we're up against actually Blue-Red Stoneblade? Or Blue-Black Stoneblade? Which could make things interesting, I guess. To draw a Bolt or a Searing Blaze. Can't attack with Darcy here, which is unfortunate. Yeah, the only problem with It That Betrays O'Doyle is the issue with you have to untap with it would be the biggest issue. Like, most of the emphasis of most of the Reanimator decks I've seen so far has been more about the ETB triggers than the whatchamacallit triggers than It That Betrays. Like, don't get me wrong, It That Betrays would be very powerful. But yeah, definitely Monkey is very powerful, Space Marine, but at the end of the day, it's still an X1. You know, it's still a card that has to get through blockers, has to get through removal spells. And yeah, it has haste, but only if you it goes to 8 here. Yeah, Skyclave Apparition. Kaya's Guile. Well, I think we're in a little bit of trouble. I think they should have either exiled our graveyard or... Well, I mean, if there's something that's going to let us beat that, it's going to be that. The problem with Mystic Sanctuary, and it's kind of the same problem that Dwarven Mine has, is... Sure, you played 4 Mystic Sanctuary, or however many you played, but all of your fetch lands could get them, was the problem. Which, the old way to beat control decks used to be, they flood out, and... It's... How long was Mystic Sanctuary legal? Mystic Sanctuary was legal for almost a year. Like, there's no guarantee Ragavan even makes it 6 months. And most of the cards, most of the decks that have recursive card advantage are Delver-based decks anyway. I think we're dead next turn. Well, not that we had a chance this game anyway. Alright, so equipment.deck. The skull cracks. How many actual stuff we want against equipment? Down the spikes, I guess, and 2 copies of Boros Charm. I don't mean to laugh at you, Space Marine, but the only thing Wizards will ever apologize for is not taking more of your money. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand your frustration. The biggest problem with them is the inconsistency. Is just the utter inconsistency. Hand seems fine. Once again, we're mainly here to test Darcy, and the more hands we see Darcy, the better. The happier I am. Like, how do you let Brainstorm loose on a format like Historic and then ban Time Warp because you have another consistent time? Like, just how they handle the ban list is just so infuriating. Feels like Prismatic ending? Yeah. Thought you'd be happy with Historic. Just got Control's the second best deck in the format. They go get Caldera or they go get Batterskull? You know there's still a combo legal, right? In fact, there's a 2-card I Win combo that's legal. No. There is a 2-card Lotus God and one other creature. You Indomitable Creativity for the creature or both creatures, and then if your opponent does not interact with it, they die. What are you complaining about? It's literally the turns deck without turns. See if I can do this without triggering. Locust God, Sage of the Falls. Yeah, memory lapse is kind of annoying. Yeah, I think it's up your alley and War Dog's alley. Weren't we talking about this last night in a Doyle or something similar to it? No. Locust God plus Sage of the Falls is an instant win combo. If your opponent can't interact with it, they die. Instantly. It gets to put Caldera into play and beat us down. So we have like... We basically have to draw a runner-runner. Yeah, well, it's not infinite. I believe it's a May effect. Yeah, it's a May effect. So however many you want up to the size of your deck. Well, to be fair, Space Marine, in Modern, it is kind of a new deck. It's only recently gotten the cards strong enough to be powerful enough. Alright. Why would you want to deck yourself with Jace when you can just win with the bugs? I mean, I know you don't like to attack as a control mage, but it does win the game. Son then deck myself with Jace. Gotcha. I'm a little tired, okay? There, go chomp on that, Space Marine, whenever the stream is done. Or if you don't want to watch any more of Burn. That is Alien Tarazi with the Locust God combo deck. It's just straight, is it? The version he's running? It's varied over time, man. When I was trying to work on... Yeah, we'll keep this hand. When I was trying to be more accommodating to the X, when I was trying to be more accommodating to the X, I was sometimes getting up earlier in the mornings, so I wasn't always up this late. Bloodstained Mire, but no companion. Okay. Oh, Dredge, cool. We have absolutely no graveyard hate, so this is going to be a quick one. Opponent's got a guaranteed Dredger on top, so we just kind of got to beat down and hope we get there. Hopefully they don't have like a Thrilling Discovery or something next turn. The heck? Cathartic. I say if they don't hit Creeping Chill, maybe we had a chance, but Chill is going to be a little bit difficult to beat. Yeah, we need to draw like Bolt or Skewer there to have a chance. Because the problem is, it isn't the fact that... Like, we're putting them to 3, obviously, but they have, like, Ox and stuff in the graveyard, so the chances that they hit another Conflagrate are, like, super high. And then we just basically can't win the game from there. Yeah, that's, like, basically game right there. Alright, so we have no graveyard cards whatsoever because Dredge really hasn't been a thing in the format. I'm going to bring in the Skull Cracks. Bring in the paths. Go down, I guess, Boros Charms. Once again, the only reason I'm even playing this match out is because I want a chance to see Darcy if it happens to hit things. So. Mainly, we're here just testing Darcy above anything else. Relevancy. No lands, can't keep. Too many lands, can't keep. 5-card hand. Yep. So, not really a ton to go off of there, obviously. We did get to see Darcy a couple times in that first matchup. You know, saved us from drawing some lands, added some consistency to what we were doing. So I think this idea obviously has more merit and it's worth exploring. The problem is just I don't think Burns that well positioned in the meta anyway, so it's kind of But you know, Darcy does definitely seem like an improvement. Well, it's dumb is that's already a deck that has a good burn matchup anyway. Why do you have Leyline in your sideboard? It's just like, okay. I mean, maybe you have it for discard spell decks, but I didn't think Dredge cared about discard spells that much. You know what's funny, though, Space Marine? Is the card that jams burn the most isn't... It's Saga. It's not Monkey. It's not Darcy. It's not, you know, any of those decks. It's literally Urza Saga. Like the one league that I played with Burn, we ran into both Hammer Time and Eldrazi Tron, and they were both able to go and fetch up Shadow Spear. So all of a sudden, the 1-of bullets, or maybe 2-of bullets that they'd run on their sideboard for specific matchups, instead of having to have a 4-mana play to go get them, just get to spew value. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm tired, so I'm not really analytical right now about this burn list, but Darcy seems to check out, so definitely something we're going to explore more in the next stream. But as awesome as it was hanging out with you guys, I'm kind of getting exhausted, so I'm going to go hunker down for the night and get some sleep. But Space Marine and O'Doyle, it's always nice to see both you guys. Space Marine, lively as ever, man. You know, I do agree with you that on at least on the level that WotC has been too liberal with, or inconsistent with their banning of cards, and maybe if there was some way to nerf cards like they did in the Mirror Mirror event on Arena, maybe we could see Uro come back in the format. But you know, for now, sadly, he's a victim of circumstance. So hope you all have a good evening, and thanks for hanging out. This has been John for MTG Nexus.